Monday Night Raw took place tonight. You had the show that took place after Hell in a Cell. You had Drew McIntyre, the former champ, enter to start the show. He had no excuses for losing to Randy Orton last night. He's interrupted by The Miz and John Morrison. Miz wants Morrison to bow, and of course, Miz is Money in the Bank Briefcase champ. They mock him. Eventually, McIntyre headbutts Miz, and he takes down Morrison. He walks out, and basically, they're really setting up something with Miz cashing in. That's going to happen in the future. But that's how the segment ended. You had Tom Phillips. He mentioned that Survivor Series is the one night a year that Raw and SmackDown wrestlers face each other. And then, of course, they're doing qualifying matches. You have McIntyre facing Miz tonight. AJ Styles enters with Jordan O'Mogman, who is, he didn't name him yet. He said everyone missed him on Raw. He cuts an okay promo. AJ Styles defeats Jeff Hardy in a qualifying match. I knew that was horrible for Jeff to go to Raw. Jeff was doing well on SmackDown. He's all the momentum on Raw. There's certain guys are Raw guys, other guys are SmackDown guys, and SmackDown girls, Raw girls. There's just some people fit on one brand better than the other. It's hard to explain, but there's just some people who do better on one brand. Maybe it's just the day their character fits better with the day. You want to see someone in the beginning of the week compared to the end. I'm not sure, but some people are just better on the other shows. You had Elias attack Jeff with the guitar. You had Sarah Scraper interview R-Truth. Truth landed on scouting Drew Gulak. Lucha host party beat Akira Tozawa and Drew Gulak. Whatever. Firefly Fun host. We had Alexa Bliss there. Bray's dressed as the Mad Hatter. Alexa's there and she shows up with a tea head. She had a secret ingredient. The rabbit puppet drank some and he was killed. Wyatt stated that they were all mad. Alexa said, how are they all mad? And she becomes crazy. Her eyes go all red. And she says, let him in. Alexa's scary there. I love Alexa. Then Bray's eyes get scary too. Then they announced the moment of bliss with Randy Orton. Wyatt, then I think he starts beating down Mercy the Buzzard, whoever it was. Or not the Buzzard, the rabbit. I forgot his name. The stupid rabbit. He beats him down, smashes him to death, and then he looks forward to facing Orton later. You had Keith Lee interviewed by Charlie Caruso backstage. Then you had Nia Jax and Baylor approach Adam Pierce about the woman and who's going to be there. Keith Lee beats Elias. He qualifies. Hardy smashed a guitar against Cross Elias after the match. Don't care about this feud. Some guys talking about whether to enter the... I don't want to talk about this. Some stuff's really bad on them backstage. Yeah, Charlie Cruz interview Randy Orton asked if he's concerned the Fiend may show up. Orton doesn't care about him. He just goes back to his locker room. Video package for Hurt Business against Retribution. They announced that Bobby Lashley will face Sami Zayn at Survivor Series if both keep their titles. Oh, not this fucking segment. I already did that awful segment last year. Oh, it was so bad with Lashley's sisters. You had an 8-man tag. Well, it might have been 2 years ago, actually. It was 2 years ago. A couple years ago now. 8-man tag match. Hurt Business beat Retribution. No surprise here. Retribution's a total failure. It's just awful. You had Angel Garza offer Mandy Rose a rose, and she says she's still close with Otis. And Garza instead offered the rose to Dana Brooke, and then Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler show up. They brush him off, and then they're going to discuss what's happening on Survivor Series. They left. Baszler couldn't believe Jax took the rose from Garza. They had Drew McIntyre defeat The Miz. McIntyre destroys The Miz and he qualifies. Not surprising here. You had Kofi and Xavier Woods in the back, and they're doing some segment backstage. You had Asuka join them, and I guess it's also that New Day announced Asuka's going to face Sasha Banks at Survivor Series, and Randy Orton's going to face Roman Reigns. Hurt Business showed up to plug last week's match against Sami Zayn. Too much Hurt Business on this, to be honest. McIntyre's interviewed by Randy Orton. He says he's going to basically said he'd show up to a moment of bliss. Raw Women's team at Survivor Series, they pretty much announced a team that's going to be Nia Jax, Shayna Baszler, Dana Brooke, and Mandy Rose. And then they need one final member, and it's going to be a side match between Lana, Lacey Evans, Peyton Royce, and Nikki Cross. And, Peyton Royce, someone I thought they'd give her a push. Not happening. Lacey Evans is no good. Nikki Cross is no good. Lana, they actually went with Lana. You're kidding me? I have to watch Lana in this fucking match. Could have just gone with Nikki Cross. She at least had a better match with her, but or Peyton Royce. Why are you going with Lana again? So Nia Jax and Killer. Nia gets the win, and then guess what happens? Nia Jax, Samoan drops Lana through a fucking announce table for the 6th fucking week in a row. We get it. Fuck you, Miro. That's what Vince is saying. We get it. If we just stop killing his wife every fucking week. Caruso interviews Randy Orton. He's basically, scared. He's nervous a little bit about the interview. That's how I took it. Sheamus beat Matt Riddle in a qualifying match. Matt Riddle's an asshole. It's his own fault this happened. It's kind of sad, but it's just not going to work out for him in terms of being a top star in the main roster. He's his own worst enemy. So, the main event segment's a moment of bliss with guest Randy Orton. Alexa Bliss is there. She's sitting down. She's looking very cute. She's kind of being like a cross between Harley Quinn and just, I'm not sure exactly what, but that's kind of what her original gimmick was when she first came in. So she introduces Randy Orton and she tells him to sit. Orton won't sit. She speaks like a child, which is awesome because she's so tiny she can kind of come off as one. Her voice is so young. It's like you'll never know her age. She's like, 29? She looks like, she can pass off for being 16. Orton asked if she had any surprises. She said no and wanted to comment about him and McIntyre burning down the house. And then Orton knew that this was a reference to Bray Wyatt because burning down the house. Remember that awful fucking segment 3.5 years ago building up to WrestleMania that year when Randy Orton burned down Bray Wyatt's compound and he killed Sister Abigail? Oh, it's just a disaster. Anyway, Drew McIntyre entered. He brawled with Randy Orton as Bliss pointed and laughing. Alexa Bliss is awesome here. She's sitting on the top turnbuckle, laughing a little like a little kid girl, while Randy Orton and Drew McIntyre beat each other up. And then Alexa goes away when the Fiend comes out. The buzzard goes off, so Alexa goes, and then Randy retreats to the stage, and he sees the Fiend standing behind him. And Randy is so scared he can turn around and fight the Fiend, or he can fight Drew, who's waiting for him. Randy fights Drew, and Drew gets the better of Randy. Randy starts to fight back, but then Drew fights back at him, and he basically stabs him with a pen in the eye, which was weird. McIntyre continues to attack him, and it seemed like I was thinking for sure Miz might come out right now, but it never happened. No, I didn't think he'd win. I thought he might just tease it, but I don't know why they're keeping this McIntyre-Randy feud going. Randy's going to face Roman soon, and I just feel like, Hell in a Cell should be the culmination, and just WWE doesn't believe that. It looked like another cage match. So, unfortunate. I wish Hell in a Cell was the end, and to WWE it's just it's a cage match. But still a great match they had, and the feud will continue. I thought it was a great way to go out, but I guess not. So, easily the best thing on this show was Bray Wyatt and Alexa Bliss and their pairing. I like Alexa better on SmackDown. I think she fits better on that show, but she's awesome right here. She's doing great. And I thought the Hell in a Cell was a very good show. And I thought this was actually a good follow-up show. I thought the show was actually overall decent. And it did actually a decent job of building up to the matches they're going to promote at Survivor Series in a few weeks.